trusted news source, ABC6 News at Noon.
Good afternoon. We have breaking news on a major settlement on a COVID case. The state of Massachusetts reaching a multi-million-dollar settlement with the families of those who died at this Holyoke Soldiers' Home. That home, the site of a COVID-19 outbreak. Nearly 80 residents died of COVID. Many others were sickened in the spring of 2020. Governor Baker announcing that Massachusetts will pay $56 million to those families. Baker saying, while it won't bring back loved ones, quote, we hope that it will bring a sense of closure. A report found that the home's administrators made a series of errors that led to the outbreak. This agreement is subject to approval by the Federal District Court for Massachusetts. And the latest on the pandemic this noontime as the U.S. reaches a grim milestone and the White House marks 1 million COVID-related deaths today. This as health officials warn Americans not to let their guards down. New cases trending upward. ABC's Rena Roy has more.
Flags lowered to half-staff today as the U.S. surpasses the unimaginable milestone, 1 million American lives taken by COVID.
1 million empty chairs around the family dinner table. Each irreplaceable losses.
Pamela Addison lost her 44-year-old husband, Martin, in April of 2020.
The day he died, I was stunned in shock. I was thrown into this new life of being a solo mommy.
Federal data shows on average more than 300 Americans are still dying of COVID every day. And now fears that number will keep going up. 5,400 deaths predicted over the next 2 weeks as new cases rise. Hospitalizations at their highest levels since mid-March, increasing in at least 34 states and territories.
We're still seeing a lot of people in the hospital, a lot of people dying, and we're still at risk of another major wave coming at some point in the future.
A new ABC News analysis of federal data shows a growing proportion of COVID deaths are from breakthrough infections. In August, fully vaccinated Americans made up nearly 19% of COVID deaths. By February, that went up to about 40%. And at that same time, 25% of deaths were among those who were vaccinated and boosted with their first dose.
It is very likely that all of us who've been vaccinated will have a diminution of the level of protection after a certain number of months. And it is likely that it will be recommended for everyone to get a boost then.
Dr. Fauci says we could know by midsummer if and how often more booster shots might be needed. It's likely health officials will recommend a round of booster shots for Americans in the fall. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
And Attleboro is reinstating its mask mandate for all city buildings. According to Mayor Hero, it's due to an uptick in cases among city employees. He says the mandate will be in place for at least 2 weeks. And it's graduation day for CCRI. The class of 2022 will gather at the Dunk this evening for commencement, and they'll be joined by members of the class of 2020 and 2021 who didn't get an in-person ceremony because of COVID. There will be about 1,000 graduates in all participating today. Governor McKee will be addressing them. Also speaking, Rick McIntyre, a 60-year-old who's graduating today, who returned to CCRI in his mid-50s. And now to the weather as we take a live look outside right now. Warming up out there. Tim Studebaker has more in your first forecast.
Yeah, brighter skies, warmer temperatures, less wind. All in all, we are doing A-OK out there. There is an exception, though, to the warmer temperatures, and that's out toward eastern-facing shorelines in Massachusetts. Places like Boston, Plymouth, the Cape and Islands, significantly cooler than the rest of us. That's because winds are off the water for those folks. But for our area, the winds are not so cold. We're actually looking at the 60s and 70s across most of our viewing area at this point. Lighter winds than we've been dealing with over the last week or so that's good news, 5 to 10 miles per hour. And because of that onshore wind for the eastern-facing shorelines, places like Plymouth and Boston are also dealing with some fog and drizzle still at this point. The rest of us seeing brighter skies, a mix of sun and clouds for the rest of this afternoon, temperatures into the lower 70s. Again, that's away from those east-facing shorelines, but that also covers most of our area. 70s for the afternoon and warm temperatures going into the weekend. We'll talk about that coming up, Doreen.
All right, Tim, thank you. In political news today, Massachusetts Attorney General Maura Healey will be in Fall River today as part of her campaign for governor. Healey is expected to join Mayor Paul Coogan and other local officials to tour the Fall River City Pier and then take questions on economic development. Healey is leading the polls by a significant margin, both against her primary opponent and the Republicans hoping to meet her in the general election. Current Mass Governor Charlie Baker is not running for re-election. And now to an ABC6 News update. The Providence City Council approving the first passage of how to spend the federal ARPA money in the city. $124 million is the starting point. $30 million to housing investments, $20 million to water, sewer, broadband and infrastructure improvements, $24 million to community and social disparities, and $6 million towards tourism, travel, and hospitality recovery. There'll be another $2.7 million to economic stabilization, $36 million to revenue recovery, and $3 million to administration expenditures. And the State Commerce Board voting to approve a Rebuild Rhode Island tax credit and first wave closing fund for the Superman building project. High Rock Westminster Street will be awarded a total of $20.7 million in tax credits. The project is estimated to cost $223.1 million, with 285 residential units, 8,000 square feet of office space with a mix of retail and community spaces. And the superintendent search is what's on the agenda tonight as the North Kingstown School Committee meets again. The committee will get an overview of the process and timeline for the superintendent selection. Interim Superintendent Michael Waterman is not applying for the full-time job. Former Superintendent Phil Auger left the district earlier this year after a report by the school department's attorney on the Aaron Thomas investigation. Tonight's meeting starts at 6 at the high school. Public comment will be accepted. And new at noon today, preparing for an emergency at sea. That is what the Rhode Island EMA and over a dozen emergency crews across Rhode Island took part in this morning, holding a marine response exercise where crews responded to a ferry vessel on fire with over 50 people on board. Emergency responders tell ABC6 sessions like this are critical as responding to a water emergency is not like a land emergency.
Emphasizing our communications on the water and being able to talk to each other efficiently, and so any rescue can be a little bit chaotic, but the goal of today was to make sure it's not chaotic when that time comes.
We need to have enough knowns, and that's what today's all about, getting a lot of known procedures down because we're always going to be dealing with an unknown.
In a busy boating season, Texera adds that the Coast Guard will respond to over 150 water rescues across Rhode Island and southeastern Mass. A new owner could be in the works for the Emerald Square Mall in North Attleboro. According to the Sun Chronicle, the town manager says the building is being sold. The mall put into receivership in November of 2020 when Simon Properties could no longer pay the mortgage. The company running it right now did not make a comment to the paper. Well, the Bruins have their backs against the wall, facing elimination in their first-round playoff series against the Carolina Hurricanes. The Bees are down 3-2 to the Hurricanes after a 5-1 loss Tuesday on the road. They are back at the TD Garden tonight. Head coach Bruce Cassidy says he's sticking with Jeremy Swayman in net for Game 6. The puck drops at 7 o'clock. And Game 5 for the Celtics was a tough one last night at the Garden. The Seas in the lead going into the fourth quarter, but the Bucks, the defending NBA champs, came back, erasing a 14-point deficit to beat the Celtics 110-107. They now lead the series 3-2. Game 6 is back in Milwaukee tomorrow night. Well, still to come here on ABC6 News at noon, a major blow to Russia as more countries announce support for joining NATO, which was the Kremlin's justification for the war. And the Judd family revealing today just how country star Naomi Judd ended her life. And later, looking into the leak, the latest from the Supreme Court as they try to learn who released that draft opinion. Back now with more from Ukraine. More than 3 months into Russia's war, it's threatening the security of other nations in the region, with some talking about applying for NATO membership. ABC's Faith Abube has more on how this would expand NATO's military alliance.
In a dramatic shift sparked by Russia's unprovoked war in Ukraine, Finland saying Thursday it's ready to ditch its historically non-aligned military position and without delay apply for NATO membership. Finland's president also with a blunt message for Russia's Vladimir Putin.
When you ask how they see possible Finnish joining, well, my response would be that you caused this. Look at the mirror.
Russia's war in Ukraine increasingly causing security concerns in the region. Polls show public support for Finland joining NATO was at 25% in that country before Russia's invasion of Ukraine, but has increased to 76% in recent months.
Will bring more safety to Finland against Russian aggression. And it also shows Russian that there is consequences what you do.
Sweden, which has also historically maintained a neutral status, mulling a similar move. If approved, a NATO expansion would be a blow to Putin. The Kremlin has pushed against NATO expansion in the region and used it as one of its pretexts for starting the war in Ukraine. This morning, Russia calling Finland's potential acceptance into NATO a threat, saying in a statement, quote, Russia will be forced to take retaliatory steps, both of a military, technical, and other nature.
Russia doesn't want to take on the NATO alliance. So this is a fight that he really doesn't want to have.
Meanwhile, the fight for Ukraine continues. Ukrainian forces making some gains on the battlefield, recapturing several towns and villages closer and closer to the Russian border. And Ukraine's President Zelensky has expressed support for Finland joining NATO, but shares some disappointment that NATO didn't approve his country's request to join, adding that he's absolutely convinced that if Ukraine had been part of NATO, there would have been no war. In Washington, Faith Abube, ABC News.
Coming up, a big day in Washington as the Supreme Court meets for the first time since the leak. And we are hearing the 911 call from the escapee and prison officer in Alabama just moments before their capture. Checking national headlines today, the Judd family is revealing how country music star Naomi Judd died. Actress Ashley Judd, Naomi's younger daughter, telling ABC's Diane Sawyer this morning that Naomi used a firearm to take her life, and Ashley is the one who found her. The family wanting to share this news before it became public some other way. Ashley and her sister Winona announced on April 30th that they'd lost their mother to the disease of mental illness. Naomi Judd was 76. The Supreme Court is meeting today, the first time since that controversial leak of a draft opinion that could lead to the overturning of Roe v. Wade. Politico recently published the draft of the majority opinion on the 1973 decision guaranteeing a federal constitutional right to an abortion. The justices are expected to discuss outstanding cases and pending petitions. They're also likely to talk about the breakdown of the High Court's confidential operations. Chief Justice John Roberts has ordered an internal investigation into the matter. And here is a look at the new mugshot for escaped convict Casey White, the accused murderer now back behind bars at an Alabama state prison. He was on the run for 11 days with his accomplice, former corrections officer Vicky White. And we're also now hearing a dramatic 911 call during that intense police chase.
Hello?
Vicky, who police say had a romantic relationship with Casey, never responded to the operator. Later, authorities say she shot herself and Vicky later died at a hospital. Casey White is facing charges of escape now in the first degree.
And now, your ABC6 Storm Tracker weather with meteorologist Chelsea Priest.
Chelsea's actually off today. Tim Studebaker in with your forecast. We've got big improvements out there right now. We started off the day with clouds, some fog, and some drizzle, and we're still holding on to that in just a few select areas, mostly out toward the eastern-facing shorelines of Massachusetts as well as the Cape and Islands. The rest of us, a lot brighter skies out there this afternoon. Also much warmer temperatures than we've seen for the last several days. And it is not as windy, so good news pretty much all around. Temperatures have made it to the 60s and low 70s now for most of our area, but notice the much cooler temperatures for those east-facing shorelines. It's 56 in Plymouth, but 70 in Coventry. So really a big spread in temperatures across the area. The coolest temperatures along the coast thanks to winds coming in out of the northeast off of that colder ocean water. That was affecting a lot of our area for the last several days because the winds were strong enough to pull that cold air right on into a good portion of southern New England. But today, the winds are a lot weaker, so it's really just that coastline that's a lot cooler. Those winds right now, 5 to 10 miles per hour, a welcome sight after dealing with those blustery winds for so much of this week. Also, because of those northeast winds, they're still seeing some reduced visibility out toward that east-facing shoreline, Boston and Plymouth, as well as Provincetown, reduced visibility. The rest of us, we've really improved since this morning. Low pressure to the south, high pressure to the north. This is a situation we've been in for quite some time. However, things are starting to finally change. This low is pulling farther south and west, and that's allowing for those winds to kind of diminish as compared to the blustery winds we saw for much of the week. High pressure eventually moves offshore, and that will allow for warmer air as we head toward the weekend, but also increasing humidity. Right now, and for much of the last several months, very dry air. But as we get toward Friday and then into the weekend, our first touch of humidity, it's almost like early summer weather for Friday and into the weekend. Brighter afternoon for us, temperatures in the low 70s. That's away from that east-facing shoreline that I pointed out where things are so much cooler. Much less wind, too. So, again, that's the good news. Northeast winds at just 5 to 10. For tonight, into the 50s with clouds and patchy fog making their return. Relatively mild during the overnight. And on your Storm Tracker 7-day forecast, again, kind of a taste of early summer-like weather for Friday into the weekend. Temperatures making their way into the mid-70s, except for a few coastal locations, which may stay slightly cooler. Stray showers possible on Saturday and Sunday. Also, the humidity kind of ramping up a little bit for Friday into the weekend. Not going to be like the middle of summer oppressive, muggy humidity, but it will be noticeable. Scattered showers, a better chance for more widespread activity on Monday. Then heading into Tuesday and Wednesday, it looks like we're dry. Doreen.
All right, Tim, thanks. Still to come, a look at how inflation is affecting your grocery bill and how much we're paying just to eat. And talk about a streaming success, Disney Plus' new milestone of subscribers. In consumer news today, inflation slipped a little in April, but that is little consolation to consumers. The cost of groceries shot up nearly 9.5% last month compared to April of 2021. That is the biggest annual hike in 41 years, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Breakfast is the meal getting hit especially hard. Eggs are over 22% more expensive, and margarine, milk, bacon, and coffee also saw price increases. And Disney's streaming service, Disney Plus, is showing gains. It now has nearly 138 million subscribers. That's up about 8 million for the fiscal second quarter. Disney earned $19.2 billion in revenue during the quarter, a 23% hike compared to the same quarter in 2021. Netflix remains the industry's largest streamer with 221 million subscribers worldwide. Well, coming up, a diamond the size of a golf ball sells at auction. We'll tell you how much this rock went for. And Tim is back with another look at your afternoon forecast right after this. Direct. All right, finally this afternoon, check out this stunner named The Rock. Let's see why. It is the largest white diamond to ever come up for auction. It just sold for $21.9 million. Christie says the pear-shaped gemstone was found in South Africa. It is 228 carats, so about half the size of a golf ball. That's incredible, right? It also happens to be perfectly symmetrical, making it one of the rarest gems ever to be sold at auction. It is so beautiful.
Okay, two questions. Who's finding these diamonds?
I know.
And who's buying that? Who has that kind of money? Come on.
I don't know.
The Rock.
Yeah.
It's like a boulder.
I know. Maybe The Rock bought it.
There you go. Perfect.
That would be fitting, right?
Yeah, for sure. As far as your forecast is concerned for this afternoon, a lot brighter out there now as compared to what we saw this morning. A mix of sun and clouds and temperatures into the low 70s for many of us. It's away from those east-facing shorelines where things are much cooler. Heading into the next few days, even warmer temperatures to come, as well as some rising humidity Friday, Saturday into Sunday. Couple of stray showers possible Saturday into Sunday, a little bit more in the way of shower activity on Monday, then dry for Tuesday and Wednesday.
All right, Tim, thank you. And thank you for joining us for the news at noon. The news continues first at 4. Have a great afternoon, everybody.